with 18 employees. And you have to remember, in 14 years, technology has changed, dramatically. And now people are more tech savvy than they ever were before. So, they wanted to ensure that, production continued and that everybody was, again, successful at home. That was with 18 folks. We've got over 5,000 people today. We cannot deploy IT folks to people's homes. And I want to add that we have patent examiners and trademark examining attorneys working all over the United States. It would be really difficult for someone who's having a problem in California. We just was an IT guy on a plane, sent him out. We can't do that anymore. So when we do these intensive trainings for these folks, we teach them how to put everything together, how to access their stuff, and we duplicate desktop. So everything that they can do here, they can do remotely.
Is that through a VPN?
Yes, yes. And I'll be talking about some challenges in a few minutes too as well. So what I have done, I don't know where my head was. For some reason I thought we were going to be doing this on the phone, because we do a lot of these on the phone. And I've got 3 or 4 people.
What?
You know what?
Sorry that you
That's
guys
a fun
buried a little bit.
Yes. And so normally what I do, and I have to tell you, I stay pretty well scripted when I do these interviews. I am a federal employee and I want to ensure that the message is parallel, certainly with the message here of the agency. So I'm just going to read directly.
So pass it out.
I know we can.
Yeah,
we're done. I used to be an elementary school teacher, so I read really well. It'll be entertaining for everyone. So what I've done really is taken your questions and sort of go through them, and feel free at any time to just say, well, wait a minute, well, what about this and what about that? And then if I say anything that's really off the reservation, Ruth will just kick me into the table, and we will, start all over again.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us to start with at all? Okay.
And maybe I'd set this up so Tim would be the interviewer, so maybe even though we already know you have the answers, if he could ask you the questions.
Oh,
and then that way it seems a little more live, a little more natural.
All right. Well, you look really nice. Do
I
you want to
appreciate
see
that.
his little face
Should
too?
we
You want to scooch over here?
Switch
Or do you
around.
want, is it easier for us to switch chairs? Or?
I think we
Should we
can.
move the chair out of here? So
We can do that.
Unless you're going to
Eric,
sit.
do you want to switch with me and we'll move the chair?
Yeah, is that easier? What's,
Yeah, I think this works fine. I actually have everybody.
Probably get this done.
But I think I missed that email. I didn't realize this was going to be taped.
well, I think we've never done this before, so in terms of interviewing, so what we're planning to do is just use very brief little clips, so we can run it by you.
Yeah, I think that's good, because I don't know what your protocol is insofar as videotapes.
It's fine as long as you're fine with it.
Okay, and everybody, Richard and Peter and, okay. And again, if you can show us the clips,
Absolutely.
because you know how that can work sometimes.
Oh yeah, and we're using this for our blog, so it's going to be nothing more than a minute.
Well, this is really fun. So,
Yeah.
well, maybe I do have some questions. Where are you based?
McLean, Virginia.
You're out in McLean. And where in McLean?
Tice's Corner, or
Okay.
pretty much across from where the Galleria is.
Okay, yeah.
Greensboro Drive right there.
Yeah. So how many remote workers do you guys have?
That's a very interesting question, because we have over close to 3,000 employees, monster, in the United States. And we all have the capability of working remote for the most part, and it's all based on your job description.
Okay.
So much of what you're talking about is even something that
Maybe take back and say,
Right.
well, and and I will tell you, if you have, upper level management or executives that want to give me a call, I'm more than happy to talk with them. But this little tool, I think, will help you a lot.
Well, and one of the other reasons why I'm excited to hear about this is because I do talk to all the other federal agencies, specifically like Department of Homeland Security, Department of Commerce, and my background is human resource and recruiting.
Okay.
So this is a huge thing for us to attract the federal government, and but you get to the point, and I know our questions will cover all of this, but when I go in and talk to people, and one of the things, let's get some best practices, let's do something creative, let's figure out how you can recruit some of these high-level people or hard-to-fill engineers, obviously. We can make it more of it by this telecommuting, and they look at me and go, oh, no, we're not doing that. So to be able to hear how you guys have had 5,000 people is, and I'm assuming you also do a lot of talking to other agencies.
Oh, absolutely. You know, a lot of public speaking, a lot of
Perfect.
town hall events, that kind of thing. You know, I think the thing is, and I don't know, and again, I talk to so many people, if I'm being redundant, then please forgive me, but I think the deal is, it's not so much about this thing that we call telework. It really is more about good, solid management practices.
That's exactly what we had.
And whether, and I say this in these trainings with managers, you know, whether someone's on the Alexandrian campus or they're in Alaska, it doesn't matter. It's about clearly communicating your expectations to that employee
Right.
and getting feedback from that employee. You know, when I hear employees say, oh gosh, you know, the only time I really have a conversation with my manager is when we do my performance appraisal. You know, that puts me into a coronary arrest. I mean, I can't imagine how you can grow employees and mentor them to be, to produce at the level that you want them to, and only talk to them once a year. You know, how does that happen? And so when we have people teleworking, we really, we emphasize over-communicating, if you will, until basically the manager is comfortable with the fact that I can't reach out and touch him, I can't see him, but I know that he has completed A, B, C, and D. All of his projects are completed in a timely fashion. The quality is good. So ultimately, I guess I don't need to see that individual. You know?
And
It's very, really very simple.
But it's a change in the management. I'm sorry, I'll let you ask your questions here. I just give, this is something that is just amazing and no brainer, but so many people just think it's much more difficult.
Well, they really do. And again, I think we're a culture of managing by seeing the whites of people's eyes. I mean, that's what our culture is about. And, you know, there are a lot of folks too, you know, and again, this is a societal thing, that when someone starts a career, the next rung on that career ladder is what? It's management. Whether you have an affinity for it or not. And there are a lot of folks who are brilliant and experts in their field, but they really are not managers.
Right.
And that's part of our problem. And again, that's a societal issue, I think. You know, it's not just the federal government, it's not just in private organizations. That's just the way we've done business in America. But you know what? I think that is starting to change. And I think we've realized that we have to offer another carrot to these talented employees. You know, give them the option. You know, you can advance in your career, but you don't necessarily have to do that by going into management if you do not desire to. So, take it away.
So just to start, I want to get a little bit about your background. So you can tell us a little bit about how you got interested in telework initiatives and telework programs to begin with.
How I personally did.
Personally, yes.
Quite frankly, it was just a fluke.
Okay.
I was working at a college, and I was the director of their co-op and internship program. And with that particular job, I had a lot of interface with businesses because, of course, I had to place students. And then I sort of branched out a little bit and started working with other universities across the country and partnering our co-op and internship program with, say, one in upstate New York that comes to mind. Corning would recruit engineering students, and you know, this particular college was kind of running out of students, and so we got together, and